Hello and welcome back to Factorio. This time we have a lot of changes again because while I was editing this stuff I noticed some things that I could improve around here, little things here and there, and then got slightly carried away with that stuff and ended up upgrading a lot of things and making some changes and whatnot, so let's go through with them. But first let's pick the next tech. While I was doing all those upgrades, I also decided to do some text so that the time wasn't fully wasted in terms of technology. So I did a lot of these damage and speed upgrades, pretty much everything that was possible without Science Pack 4s or Alien Science Packs. And then I also did like Mark 3 and Mark 4 versions of various techs. That one I couldn't do because it requires Science Packs 4s, but I did the previous stage for like mining stuff and not the battery ones though, because that's like an entirely new product, so I tried to avoid anything that gives you an entirely new thing. I just did Mark 2 and Mark 3 and whatnot upgrades that were possible, and also the ammo stuff like I mentioned, although I did do 2 new techs, one of which was the one that was ongoing at the end of the previous session, and that was the jet planes technology somewhere down here. This one, which allows the jet, but it has a lot of components that I can't do yet, such as the electronic logic boards. So I didn't build a jet, but I did build a cargo plane, which is a separate tech which I did after the jets. So now we have a cargo plane here. It's got a lot of trunk space and a lot of fuel space, but only a machine gun. And it's not as fast as the gunship, and it has a wider turning radius like that. I think it only goes like as fast as the car, pretty much like 80 something kilometers per hour. So not as fast as this thing, but more space like a cargo plane should. So yeah, let's choose the next tech. Then again, there might not be anything that I can do, because everything is starting to require Science Pack 4s and Alien Packs. I might still have some Alien Packs left over. Where is it? Down there. Now looks like nothing on this build. Oh wait a minute, yes there is a little bit at the end there, but that's probably not enough for any tech. Let's do Logistics Railway then. So, on to the upgrades and changes. First of all, I upgraded all the belts, or almost all of them, into express ones. Same goes with the tunnels. But the splitters, they're still only fast ones, not express ones. But all the belts and tunnels, they are now like twice as fast as the previous ones, making productivity even better around here. And then I also built a belt system over here from the iron unloading station instead of using the robots. And we also have much more chests here. There used to be like, I think 5 per cargo wagon, but now there's the full 7, which I think is the maximum that you can fit on the cargo wagon things. Speaking of it, let's see where the train is. Is it coming? That was quick. Logistics Railway. I think this one can be done, yeah. It only requires level 3 stuff, the effect transmission, so let's do that and find the train. It's over here loading up stuff. Well, here it comes to save the day. We're gonna see how it gets unloaded. I have got the smart inserters here for all the various items so that it's easier to sort them. I did also try using a lot of belt sorters, but it turned out to be too much of a hassle, so I just went with smart inserters instead. I guess we'll keep doing that, although actually there was some stuff, yeah, there's some stuff up here like cordite and ceramics. Let's do those, and you can see now the smart inserters are dumping that stuff in there, and then these guys move it forward. Iron ore is on the sides, then we got gravel, dirt, and nuggets in the middle, and then they all go on their various belts over here. We also got a new Mark II air filtering machine there. Let's do Cordite Processing next. I've got a lot of science packs lined up there on the belt, so that's where I'm getting all these ticks super fast. Oh yeah, and I also upgraded my labs into Mark II labs, which are in here somewhere. There it is. It requires 1 lab, 10 circuit boards, and smart inserters and stuff. Is there anything left? Let's see. Nope, can't do that. Oh, now we got all the various bullets things, yeah, but they require level 4 stuff, except for the basic ones, so let's do that. So now we got only lab Mark IIs down there, and the difference when it comes to the normal lab is that they can take the custom Bob stuff, such as these science packs, into them, and they are also twice as fast, I believe, at doing ticks, so we're getting new ticks quickly now. So yeah, over here we got a air filtering machine Mark II, along with a scrubber machine cleaning up the air filters there, and some coal coming on that belt to clean them up. Ooh, armor crafting 4. Yeah, let's do that because I think that leads to power armor. And then down here I also upgraded the original air filter machine, this one, into a Mark II. The bad side about these is that they take up a lot of power. I've got 3 of them all around, and they get or use up 1 whole megawatt each pretty much. And here you can see that I've upgraded these assembly machines into electronic assembly machines, not only to save space but also build stuff faster, because they have much better crafting speed, 2.25 versus like 0.75 for this and 0.5 for that, and this one I think is 1.25 or something like that. So now we got like 4 of those, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of those, and 8 of those. And is that 8 as well of those, and same up there, and still plenty of room to build more if needed. Let's see, what does it allow? It doesn't allow anything, it only allows this thing, so there's no new text after this. But where's the power armor then? I think it might require the speed module. Yeah, there it is. So I should try to get modules going next as soon as possible. Ooh, there's a rocket. Let's do that one. So yeah, these are all electronic assembly machines, just like those down there. And then I also switch these that make the tinned copper wire into electronic assembly machines. And speaking of electronic stuff, these furnaces are now electronic, and there's also more of them. I think there used to be like 4 or maybe even 3 of them. But now there's 5, because I arranged stuff around here. And then over here we have a completely new design for these guys. And these ones are also now electronic ones. They used to be normal ones, I think. But over here we got a design where the basic electronic components are being fed straight into these machines with fast inserters, because they can benefit from all those stack size bonus ticks that I've researched, so they can pretty much transport that required 5 electronic components in one swing into these machines. So that takes out a big bottleneck, because before I had a belt in between a bunch of inserters, so that was the weak link, but now it's being fed straight into these. And the solder stuff is coming from down here, making a loop there, and here I had to use different speed belts, or underground belts, to fit everything. The blue ones are transporting these out of there, and the red ones are for the solder things coming in. But now these guys are so efficient that some of the stuff isn't even getting to all the way to the end, like this guy doesn't have any those, because he can't output these because they're producing so many. And I can't really use candle inserters to insert onto the other side, because this side down here, this needs to be clear for engines, so I need another redesign there. And then I also removed one of the coal polarizing things here to make room for that. Alright, next up, can we do any more, or must we get the alien tech? Aha, explosive rocketry. That's gonna be good for the gun ships, so let's do that. So here you can see the lab Mark IIs. They've got a greenish tint to them when compared to the normal ones. And I think I also changed this design here. There used to be one at the end here, but now there's these two there. And then I've also upgraded a lot of things into big processing machines, such as these that dry up the dirt. There's now 4 of them. I think there used to be 4, but they were small ones. So now they're a lot quicker at processing dirt. Same goes over here. These guys are now big processing machines. I had to switch around some belts. Wait a minute, why is there so much dirt here? Why is it not going through? Because it's being blocked by dirt from here. But why is it not ending up into the dirt drying machines? Ah, there's one piece missing here. There we go. Now you can see it'll go around here, and then we choose the next tech. Let's do distractor robot mine. And then it continues there, and then past these guys, and then we have a new splitter here where some of it goes up to these guys in case they need dirt, but the rest goes down here where they pick up whatever they can. Some of it goes into inserters and the rest over here, and as you can see, nothing is getting through all the way up to here because these guys are so quick at processing it. But these two are a nice backup to have, and I also added like multiple inserters here so that they can constantly process dirt if they have enough. There's like at least 2 or even 3 inserters per machine to take it in. Over here, this one I believe is also new or different. It used to be a normal chemical furnace, but now it's electric. And same goes for these up here, or over there actually. These are all electric now, and there's more of them as well, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 6. So a lot of iron processing power. And to do a lot of changes in terms of the belts to fit them here. Some of the stuff here might be different, and I think I also switched one of these belts that go in between here. I switched it to go up this way. Yeah, this one now goes upwards instead of downwards, and then it circles back into this via a splitter and such. Then over here we have 3 new furnaces here to take care of the pulverized iron in case it piles up all the way up to here. There's a splitter there that takes it to them. Let's continue with the effect transmission. So now half of it goes into steel production via those, and the other half into iron production, and then it goes down here into this splitter where it can go either down or up, so it supplies both sides. And we got more big machines over here. The scrap metal processing things are now huge, making Factorio great again. Back to over here where the iron and other stuff is coming from the left. This place has a lot of splitters and stuff now, making sure that the both gravel and dirt like rotate around these guys so that they constantly have a supply, but it also makes sure that it doesn't pile up too much. So we have an output here going down for both gravel and dirt, but also a way back up for dirt. Gravel I don't think has a... Actually, yes it does. This is the way back up for them. And like over here, this belt is coming from the train station. This one is coming from up there where it went through a loop, and then it splits one half down here where it splits again, half to these guys and the other half back into those guys. And this tunnel over here, it bypasses everything and goes straight into the pile of gravel production down there, which is turned into stone bricks and walls and concrete. Next up, is there anything left that we can do? I don't see any. Looks like everything is requiring stuff that I do not have. Aha, better shotgun shells. That one might be the last tech that we can do before going into alien stuff. So these a bunch of splitters here make sure that the nuggets coming from both sides, one side being the train station from there on the left and the other being the processing machines up here. And these make sure that the nuggets and the polarized iron is balanced so that most of it goes to the electronic furnace down there, but some of it goes down to these steel furnaces down there. So now these guys are also getting polarized stuff. Previously they only got nuggets, but now they get both. And we got better shotgun shells. That could have been the last one. Yep, that was all for the tech, so we're gonna have to wait until I get the alien stuff set up, but there's still stuff to go through that has changed since last time. One of them being that a lot of things such as mining drills and turrets, etc. have been upgraded into Mark III versions from the Mark IIs they were. That also includes like boilers and assembly machines and solar panels over there. That way they're also Mark IIIs now. And I think I might have added a few of them more, like up there. Is a nice way to round out the figure that they make on the map and whatnot. As for Mark III assembly machines, these ones here are Mark III versions, and same goes for these, although some of these I might have already upgraded before, I can't remember. Oh yeah, here's more electronic assembly machines for the wooden boards. Too bad I can't do the same for the actual wood made from raw wood, but hopefully these four are enough. They seem to be, although it looks like the wooden stuff isn't being used fast enough. Well, at least there's plenty of it. As for turret upgrades, I've also upgraded all the stuff around the base and added walls and gates and even some mines around various positions like there and there and there. And down here we got a full wall and gates going through, blocking that stuff. And then I think this is the final change, which... oh, actually no, it isn't. I should also mention that I'm super low on tin. This is my only tin thing right here. And I also ran out of the original iron stuff up there. There's none of it there anymore. All of it is coming from the outpost down here. And down there I've also connected another oil supply from there, but that is not enough because I'm totally out of oil. These are all producing only 0.2 per second, including all the ones down there, so I'm gonna have to connect a new one such as those or these or these. But the problem with all of them is that most of them are like below 100 yield, which is pretty crappy. Another change over here in terms of what is this stuff? Sulfur. Here's a smart inserter here that only outputs it when there's less than 50 sulfur dust all the way down there in that chest, because I've used a red wire to connect this smart inserter into that chest using red wire that goes through these pylons or power electric pole thingies. And then there's also some green wire going into this one and whatnot. I don't know if it's properly balanced, but I've been experimenting with it a little bit. Even tried using combinators. Do I have them with me? No, there's somewhere in here, these things. Tried to use those, but couldn't really make it work with them. But anyway, it should be so that thing only lets stuff through when there's too little sulfur dust over here, and when it does, it goes over here into this machine, which turns it into dust and inputs here. So now there's a constant supply of that stuff. And then this machine here is so that if it piles up too much, I think, then it'll be inserted back over here for these guys to use. Oh yeah, and then this belt continues this way, going through all of this stuff into this machine, which is using the sulfur dioxide alongside some hydrogen from here to make more sulfur for the explosive factories. These I've also upgraded into Mark IIIs to build faster. And then I think the final change is that I added a fourth oil refinery here, which uses basic oil processing instead of advanced to balance out the amount of this stuff. I can't remember which one. Yeah, I needed more heavy oil for the lubricant, because I built so many of the express belts that the machines making them ran out of lubricant, but now there should be a more balanced amount of it. Then again, right now my oil production is so low that there's almost nothing in here. 4.1, 2.7, and that one has 1.8. I also added this thing to turn heavy oil into light oil for some reason. I don't know why though, but there is a overflow valve here, so it only turns it once it overflows. I think at one point there was too much heavy oil, but not anymore because my oil reserves have run dry. And then we also get some new diesel generators over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 12. And I figured out that they can transport the liquid through them into the next one. Currently they're not producing any though, because there's not enough diesel fuel. So let's hope my steam engines and other stuff can do enough power.